growing up, when I would be having a really bad day, or I just was feeling really depressed and I was just feeling really down, I would try to identify and focus on the good that came from that day. Now, I'm a very factual person, very like logical in my reasoning. So, for me at least, it was a lot easier to genuinely pinpoint positive moments in my day to be able to go to look at and go, you know what? Even though I'm feeling sad and I'm feeling bad, here's a list of what good happened today. So I know that it's like either just all in my head or what I'm feeling shouldn't like be what I'm feeling because these are the facts. The facts is this was a good day. I just feel this way because of something that's not my fault, you know? It's for me at least it was a lot easier to try and rationalize the fact that my depression wasn't the reality of what I was experiencing, you know? Because a lot of the time it's more of a compounding kind of notion where you have one bad day or one bad moment on top of another and they keep stacking. And being able to offset that stacking by putting a bad moment, then putting in a good moment, just identifying a good moment and establishing it instead of just glossing over it, to be able to offset my experiences throughout the day. That is, for me, a good way to try and cope and get over, I say, to try and just break out of that entrapment that is depression. I wanted to talk about that today because I imagine it might be a useful skill to anyone who's suffering from the same stuff. And I know it might seem so comical to just go, you got to just think of the glass half full, because again, it is a lot easier said than done, right? But I feel like being just self-aware of it and being self-aware of your situation from looking from like a third person's perspective instead of focusing through your own eyes is a lot it makes it a lot easier to fully rationalize your state of mind and to go, you know what, I may be focusing on a few bad moments today, or I may be like really self deprecating about a certain aspect of myself right now, but the reality is this was overall a good day for me, or I'm this was a good moment for me, or whatever your time frame is. Being able to have an outward perspective on your life can can be a great tool to help you rationalize your dark thoughts and to make them not seem as intruding, since you have not only the perspective of your own inner perspective of your dark thoughts, but you have more of a third person's you can fully see the day, fully like embrace the actual good parts of the day instead of just glossing them over and focusing on your bad parts or whatever it may be, you know. For me at least, mostly I would try and cope with the fact that I didn't like how I looked growing up. I was very lanky. I wore a lot of the same clothes, even though it was to my liking. Like I liked wearing the same style of clothes. I knew other kids were judging me, and that made me feel bad. And I would try and offset that by going, you know what? Well, I'm statistically having a good day because even though I'm having these certain self-deprecating thoughts, I also was really happy that I aced a math test or something, something like small victories that I exploded in size to help myself go, you know what? I may be having a bad day mentally, but there are so many good things happening to me as well. So I should try and focus more on the small victories throughout my day or even my large victories throughout again whatever time frame you want to use. I'm having victories in my life outside of what's going on in my head, and I should relish in those victories instead of ignoring them and only focusing on the negative parts of my life. Thank you.